Okay, and then at the bottom of the next exhalation, lowering your head and opening your eyes. So lift your left arm up, turn the palm up, touch your shoulder blade. You want to lift up the elbow as high as you can. You might feel really tight through the shoulders. So if you take your hand, the opposite hand, and take hold of your tricep, and you're not going to yank it back, but you're just going to actually lift up a little and then bring the tricep towards your face a little with your hand. See if that gives you a little bit more space in the shoulder, and just hold it there for a moment. Okay, so you want it kind of by your ear, and then release the right hand, palm down, take the hand behind you, bend the elbow and bring that hand up. Now we did this the other day, so if you wanted to use a belt to hold on, then do that, or just hold onto your shirt at the back if you can't reach your fingertips. But just trying to get this action through the tricep here. And then feeling the opening through the opposite shoulder. And keep sitting up, so keep the core up, nice and long through the spine. Inhale, and then exhale, release. Come to the other side. So right arm, palm up, lift the arm up, touch your shoulder blade. Bring your left hand to your tricep. Just lift it up gently and then bring the tricep towards your face and take it back a little. See if that helps. Keep the length through the spine. Then release the left hand down, palm behind you, bend and reach. Just hold onto your shirt, your belt, or your fingertips. Lift the chest. And that nice opening through the front of the left shoulder. And then exhale, release. And just do a few shoulder rotations. So we're just going to shrug the shoulders up and drop them back. Big circular movements up towards your ears. So today we're looking at mobilizing. We were doing this earlier in the week, building strength through the shoulders, but we're going to look at the shoulder girdle and make sure we're as open as possible through there. And then back the other way. Keep the core engaged so you're not just hunching over. Keep length in the spine. Okay, then take both hands to your left thigh. Lift up through your core. So press through your sitting bones, lift the chest up. And then gently pulling on the thighs, but you want space through the vertebrae. So make sure you're lifting so the lower back isn't going to get impinged here, and revolve to look behind you. So take the shoulders with you, but lower the shoulders away from your ears. Inhale back to center. Raffles looks like butter wouldn't melt. He escaped into a celebrity's house apparently yesterday with a friend. So lifting up, revolving to look behind you. Keep that length in the core. And then coming back to center. Come onto your hands and knees. And come into an active child's pose. Take the knees wide, toes touching, sit back towards your heels. Slide your hands away, pressing, spreading and pressing the fingertips down, forehead and the tip of the nose on the mat. And then as you press the palms down, slide them away from you. Feel that length through your spine. Feel the hips opening. Inhale. Coming onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. And we're going to do puppy. So this is keeping your hips above your knees. Keep your toes tucked under. Thighs are parallel now. Slide the hands away and bring your forehead to the mat. So you can have a rolled up towel or your block to put your forehead on if it's too intense through the shoulders to get your head down. But tip your tailbone up. Engage your core. So suck the belly in, lift the pelvic floor. And palms pressing down and then sliding them away from you. So feel the armpits coming towards the mat. But you want to keep that engagement in your core. So we're not just sagging through the spine, we're giving it length. Okay, come forward for sun salutes. We can do one Surya Namaskar A and one Surya Namaskar B. Sun salute A, sun salute B, standing in mountain. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, hands up, palms together. But as you look up, reach up and feel the core engage and the chest lift and then curl through the upper back. Think of your shoulders. Exhale, fingertips go wide, floating down. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, pressing the palms into the shins, extending. Feel the shoulder blades drawing down towards your waist. Lift your tailbone up. Oh, lovely stretch for the back of the legs. Palms down. Step back. Roll into plank. Pause. So before you lower through Chaturanga, press through the palms, straight arms, engage your core, lift up between the shoulder blades. Then bend your elbows by your ribs and lower. As you come down, you'll feel how you'll need to squeeze your thighs towards the midline and almost lift your hips a little. That means that you're squeezing the outer hips. Okay, cobra. Press the tops of the feet and the pubic bone in. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift up to down dog. Take 3 breaths. So starting to activate your Ujjayi breath, breath with sound. And here you can just gently paddle the heels, stretching through the calves. Inhale, up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Come forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Tip the tailbone up, extend the chest forward. Exhale to Uttanasana, forward fold. Squeeze your core, keep lengthening the spine. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, hands up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale to chair pose. So if the shoulders are tight, just have the arms parallel to the ground. Take the knees back, neutral spine. Plug the arm bones. As you reach away, you're then going to slide the arm bones back into the shoulders so the shoulder blades come down your waist. Exhale to Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Lifting the tailbone, lifting the kneecaps. Exhale, palms down, step back. Roll into plank. Press up between the shoulder blades. Squeeze your core, thighs and shins to the midline. And as you dip forward, so elbows come at right angles, tip your hips, just hip squeeze up a little and lower to the mat. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips into down dog. Virabhadrasana 1, so warrior 1 on the right side. Turn the left foot out, whole of the foot pressing into the mat, the toes pointing more forward. Bring the right foot between your hands. As you come up, sink through the right knee, swivel the hips, so feet hip distance apart, hips level to the front of the mat. Bring your arms up, palms together or James Bond fingers. And curling through the upper back, so lift up the chest, squeeze the core, sink the hips. Exhale, palms down. Stepping back, roll into plank, press up between the shoulder blades, squeeze the thighs to the midline. forward and lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to down dog. Virabhadrasana 1 on the right side, on the left side. Turn the right foot out. Lift the left leg behind you, knee to nose, that's core. Place the left foot, feet hip distance apart. Coming up, sink the hips. Turn so your pelvis is level with the front of the mat. Bring your arms up. And we're not just collapsing into a back bend, so lift up through the core, lift the chest up, and then feel as you sink the hips, you can curl through the upper back, shoulder blades down your back, palms together. Exhale, palms down, step back, roll into plank, press up between the shoulder blades, squeeze the thighs to the midline, lower, pause, come to cobra, shoulders away from ears, press the tops of the feet down, exhale, tuck your toes, lifting up into down dog. Take 3 breaths. So press into the index finger and the thumb. So try not to allow tight shoulders to bring you onto the outside of your hands. And keep the tailbone coming up if you need to bend your knees slightly and come onto your toes. That helps open through the shoulders. Inhale, up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Come forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Squeeze your core, lift your hips, bend your knees. Come to chair pose. Sitting down, take the knees back, look between the thumbs. In, as on the same breath, you're coming up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. So now we've warmed up a little. I'm going to take you through Chaturanga to up dog. So showing you how, so cobra is our modification. So cobra, when we come down to cobra, that's modifying the pose to make it easier. So you can stay doing that if you're still working your way through that pose. But if you want to come into up dog, the difference there is that your torso, your hips don't touch the mat. So from Chaturanga to up dog is only your palms and the tops of your feet are on the mat. So it's strong, and the main thing is it's strong through the lower back as much as it is through the arms. So that's why we need to pay attention to the core and make sure you keep length. So firstly we're going to stretch up through the backs of the legs, just open the backs of the legs before we come down. So just feet hip distance apart, tummy on your thighs. Take your 2 first fingers and thumbs and wrap them around your big toe. Take your elbows out to the side, relax your head, and then lift your hips. But trying to keep your thighs, your tummy near your thighs. Keep the head relaxed. So we don't want this straight arm stretch here. We're just feeling how we feel through the core and the upper back as you try and lift your hips. So it doesn't matter if you don't get to straight legs. Just working on keeping the core engaged. Keep that length in the spine. So you want the chest reaching down towards the shins. Okay, then inhale. Bring your hands to your hips. Squeeze your shins towards the midline. Engage the core and just come up slowly. Elbows come towards each other. Okay, bending, palms down, step back to down dog. Place your fingers correctly, your hands correctly, so spreading the fingers, index finger pointing directly forward, and press the index finger and the thumb down. And you're going to roll forward into plank. You're not going down yet. So here, making sure, as I was saying, if you want to drop your knees to make it easier, that's fine, but you want to press up between your shoulder blades. Feel how that engages the transverse abdominis, deep core muscles. You'll feel your shoulder blades almost wrapping around the outside of the rib cage. So rather than just sinking the chest down, and feel how you're more connected to your hips, your spine. Roll the eye of the elbow forward. Okay, then lifting, trying to keep the eye of the elbow forward as you come into down dog. That externally rotates the top of the arms, which helps to open through the shoulders. Inhale, come back into plank. Push up between the shoulder blades. Drop your knees if you need to. This time we're just going to lower. Elbows by your sides, don't go down. And as you come down, feel your chest come forward. And then inhale. Come back into down dog. Right, we can do that from here. So I think that might lose itself in translation. So bring your knees down. Cross your ankles. So press up through the palms. And then allow your chest to sink. So feel the difference as the shoulder blades come towards each other and you sink your chest between your shoulder blades, and then push up through the palms, squeeze your core, push away. So you're pushing your palms away, feel the back rounding almost. That's the action that you want, and then you're going to slide the shoulder blades down towards your waist. So when you come into chaturanga, that's what you want. You don't want to sinking the chest, shoulders by your ears. That's a no, because it's going to impact the cervical vertebrae and cause problems through the rotator cuff. Blah, blah, blah. Not good. So lifting up between the shoulder blades. Slide the shoulder blades towards your waist. Squeeze your core, squeeze the thighs to the midline. Start to, as you come forward, you'll feel the eye of the elbow rolling forward, hug the elbows by your side. Don't come all the way down, so you're just lowering. Come back up. It's hard on the triceps. Okay, and now, actually when you're in that for a while, it makes my hands go numb. So give them a shake. Give the wrists a little wiggle. More of a workshop today. I hope you're all right with that. Shake the hands. Every now and then it's good to come back to the basics, make sure you're doing it right. So step back into down dog. Roll forward into plank. Feel that action. Press up between the shoulder blades. Slide the shoulder blades towards your waist. Squeeze the thighs to the midline. Then come onto your tiptoes. Feel how the chest is coming forward of your elbows, and then lower, squeeze the outer hips, and then lower to the mat. Flatten the feet. Come into cobra. Slide the shoulder blades away and lower down. Come back into down dog. If you need to stop and come in child's pose or give your hands a shake, do so, and use your knees if you need to come to your knees instead of coming from down dog. You can come from tabletop, roll forward. This time we're going to come into up dog. So we need to think about flipping our feet. So squeeze the forearms towards each other, lowering. Flip the feet. So you're going to turn onto the tops of the feet, let the hips sink, press up through the arms. How strong is that? For the lower back, so you need to engage your core. And then flip back onto your toes, press up into down dog, spread the knees wide, come into child's pose. Take your hands behind you, your arms behind you, rest on the backs of the hands. You can squeeze your fingers into a fist. Just get the blood moving. Okay, coming up. If you've got any questions, then you just unmute yourself and ask me. But we're going to go again, practice. So the action of, as you come, when you're, I'll do it from on my knees to make sure the knees are behind the hips. As you lower down, you're squeezing the elbows, forearms towards each other, eye the elbow forward so you can bend the elbows by your wrist. Squeeze your core strongly as you draw your shoulder blades down. And then it's, if you're on your toes, it's the action of your chest dips and comes between your arms, comes forward, and then you push up. So it's a strong back bend. You'll feel here how strongly you have to draw the thighs towards the midline and activate the core. So as you sink the hips, you need to be strong through the core and the shoulders. Okay. Come up into down dog. Roll forward into plank. Push up between the shoulder blades, shoulders away from ears. Squeeze the thighs to the midline. Tip up onto your toes. As you bend through your elbows, flip onto the tops of your feet. Hips go down. Chest comes forward. So it's a back curl. Feel how strongly you have to squeeze the back body. Flip the toes the other way, come into down dog, and then knees wide to child's pose. Relax your arms. So it's keeping the lower back safe, which is keeping length in the spine. Core needs to be really strong, and you're protecting your shoulders by keeping the shoulder blade really connected to the back body. So it's a lot harder if it's done correctly, and if it's not done correctly, you're going to, when you allow the hips to sag, then that's really tough on the shoulders and the lower back. So actually we'll do a little vinyasa. So a mini sun salute. Feet hip distance apart. Bend, put your palms down, step back to down dog. Roll forward into plank. Activate where you know you need to activate. Dip. Chest comes forward, up onto your toes. Flip the feet. Sink the hips, squeeze the thighs and the core, reach the chest forward. So my thighs aren't touching the ground. And then lift the hips, flip the toes back, come into down dog. And then you can jump forward, or you can just walk forward. If you want to jump, hop, then squeeze the finger pads into the mat, as well as the index finger and the thumb. Lift your hips to come up on your toes, bend your knees, hips go high, look forward, squeeze the core, press the finger pads in and hop. Come to halfway lift. Have your shins, hands to shins or fingertips to the floor. Exhale, fold. If you need to ragdoll here, if you can't reach the mat, that's fine. That's bend your knees slightly and hold onto your elbows. Inhale, rising up. Urdhva Hastasana, hands to heart center. Okay, I think we're going to stretch it out. So come down onto the mat. Line your tummy. Take your arms wide. So arms are at shoulder height with your palms facing down. Turn onto one cheek. So turn onto the right cheek because we're going to fold over the right arm. So press the right palm down. Bring the left hand in front of your ribs and then roll onto your side, onto your right side. Flex the right foot and then trying to touch the left toes down. It doesn't matter if you don't touch down, but the action is the shoulder, the right shoulder. You're trying to lift. So this fingertips in front of your ribs or face here. You're pressing through the fingertips to roll over that right shoulder, stretching. And then inhale. Come back to center, other side. So turn onto the other cheek, bring the right fingers in front of you, flex the left foot, roll onto the side body. If you can, the foot's going to come down, it doesn't matter. It's just more the angle through the shoulder. And then inhale, roll back round and come onto your back. So coming into bridge pose. So bridge is a counter pose to any core work. So we're working using our core a lot today, but also we're going to help open through the collarbones, front of the shoulders. So bring heels to where you can touch them, feet hip distance apart. If you had a block nearby, put that between your knees because it helps remind you to keep the action of the muscles squeezing towards the thighs, squeezing towards each other. Press the forearms and the palms down. Inhale, press the lower back into the mat, and then squeeze the block, lift the hips. Press your heels down, feel how that helps lift the hips more, and point your knees or push your knees away from you. And clasp your hands underneath and roll, so lifting one side to the other, rolling onto the outer edge of your arms. Press the knuckles towards your heels, opening through the collarbone. And then remove the arms, exhale, lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae, hips coming last. Remove the block, cross right leg over left. Take your arms wide, palms down. Lift your hips and take them to the left. Roll. So you're squeezing the knees together and roll to the right. Look to the left. If you feel your spine's too tight, so you've got this arm kind of dangling, then just bring it across your body. We're trying to bring the shoulders, both shoulders towards onto the mat. Inhale, roll back onto your spine, uncross the legs, left over right, squeeze the knees together, press the palms down, rolling to the left, look to the right, keep the knees squeezing into each other. Inhale, coming back to center, exhale, release, cross at the ankles, draw your knees towards your face, just rock there a little, massaging the lower spine. And then you're going to lift your head and chest towards your knees and start to rock backwards and forwards. Core is nice and tight. See if you can rock up to your shoulders. Oh, my spine's cracking. Ah, lovely. So all the way, and then come to sit. Facing me. So sitting nice and tall. Closing your eyes, inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Bring your palms together at your heart center, lowering your head and opening your eyes. Namaste.